Welcome to episode 21 of BrownCast Ultra. They did it. They could rebuild us. It turns out they did have the technology.
Now our podcast is old enough to drink.
Yes. So, this week we're kind of sticking to the original formula, which is we're going to start out with a news story. A news story that was kind of long time coming, I would say, and it has to do with Sony. I figure. So, yeah, we cover a lot of Sony news.
They should start paying us.
Yeah, BrownCast Ultra. Hoi.
BrownCast Ultra has just been hacked.
Yes. So after that, we're going to move on to our what we did this week segment, where we're going to talk about what we did this week. Spoilers.
We did things.
We did things this week. Things and stuff. So, and then after that, for our special segment this episode, we're going to regale you with some fun facts in movie-making history.
They're gonna be fun.
Yeah, so you will be the talk of trivia night amongst your friends.
Or if you're playing trivia crack like I am, then you'll win those movie crowns.
Or you're a character on the TV show The Flash, and trivia night is a date for you. Then, BrownCast Ultra probably got you laid. So,
I want the Flash
you're
to
welcome.
thank us.
Yeah, it's a funny episode. The funny part in the show, I thought. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and, without further ado, move on into our news segment. All right, so this we were going to talk about Sony's one of Sony's newest movie announcements, Ghostbusters 3. They pulled the trigger. They are in fact doing the female Ghostbusters idea with director Paul Feig at the helm.
Yep.
I know him from such movies as Bridesmaids and The Heat. So, and then, looking at his IMDb, it looks like he is very affiliated with NBC and Showtime. There's lots of NBC and Showtime shows on here. But, like, some good shows. Like, he directed 7 episodes of Arrested Development, 3 episodes of Weeds. He directed a bunch of episodes of Nurse Jackie and... I lost it here. And The Office. So, and it makes sense once I bust out this list of lead actresses for the film, which includes Kristen Wiig from Saturday Night Live and Bridesmaids, Melissa McCarthy from Bridesmaids, Mike and Molly, and then she starred in her own film in Tammy.
Yeah.
Which was I'm pretty sure, a huge failure. So, but she's all right. I don't know when we're going to run out, when the Melissa McCarthy
thing is going to pass.
But we will see. They have Leslie Jones from SNL and more recently from the Chris Rock movie Top 5. And Kate McKinnon, who is a Saturday Night Live cast member, and mostly has done various voiceover work. So anyway, there's your leading ladies, all mostly from SNL and Paul Feig's other movies. So, like, Melissa McCarthy's been in, like, all of his movies.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Alec?
My thoughts on it are, with this whole Ghostbusters thing... I don't think honestly, I'm still in the boat. We didn't need a third Ghostbusters, but that time has passed. As far as his casting choice, it's definitely, I think, the best, options, as far as choosing some actresses. They all have really good comedic backgrounds. The Saturday Night Live gals all have some writing backgrounds to them, too, Which means I think there's going to be a lot of like really good direction from the director and as well as the cast members is like picking a way to make these roles different from Murray and all those guys, but at the same time still feel like it's part of the same Ghostbusters universe. Yeah,
do you think the fact that, we're getting a lot of SNL alumni, whereas Ghostbusters also had SNL alumni, do you think that will play a factor into getting that same kind of Ghostbusters feel from the original?
I do. I think that they're going to take a really good study at like the way this movie was written, the way it was acted, and I think this is going to play a lot into that. It's going to have a more modern twist. I can tell you, we all know Sony. They love to make things modern and new. That's why they have Spider-Man using Bing.
Yeah. Horrible example. Continue.
But I think this is going to be a really interesting production to keep an eye on. Because now, I mean, they could just not post anything and just kind of like let it go silent and then come in theaters. But I think we're going to see a lot of stuff for them to try and like ease the audience and like lower that tension, Yeah.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to ease everybody into this, I feel like, with the marketing, and it'll probably be kind of a slow burn, marketing-wise anyway. They have just announced, they've really just announced all of this, so, once production gets started and we start seeing, a teaser trailer and posters and things like that, we'll probably get a better feel for what this movie is going to be all about.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean the plot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what is going to be the tone and feel of this movie?
The real thing I'm interested in with this movie is who is going to be what type of character.
Exactly. Are they just going to use archetypes from Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Because you could maybe kind of see that. I mean, I don't know. I don't see, like, you have like the one black girl, and then Leslie Jones. She's kind of the wild card, so we could peg her as a
Bill Murray.
Yeah, maybe more of the Egon.
The Egon
of the troupe. And then like Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy would be Bill Murray and
Ray.
Yeah, Ray. What's his name? I can't remember. Ernie Hudson is the name of. So it's Ernie Hudson's the black guy. Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd. Melissa McCarthy would be the Dan Aykroyd, and Kristen Wiig would be the Bill Murray.
She would be the Dan Aykroyd. That was the only one I was gonna be like, yeah.
Like, are they just gonna completely gender switch it? So now, like, is this gonna be like some dude with like a monster in his refrigerator?
I think that would be really. Honestly, I would like that. I'm down for that. That'd be hilarious.
And Kristen Wiig is trying to like seduce some dude, like. I don't know, man. That's just I don't see that for sure.
I think that's a lot. There's a lot of joke material in that.
And then the secretary would be like some dude. The secretary should be Bill Murray. Peter Dinklage is going to be in this movie, in some capacity.
Peter Dinklage is Gozer.
Oh goodness!
Come on, you can imagine it. Except he's just like, are you a god?
No. Peter Dinklage could be Rick Moranis' character.
I don't know. That's kind of you can't. I don't know. I'm liking Peter Dinklage as Gozer. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
Same costume, even.
They would need to, if it's gender swapped, then Rick Moranis' character would need to be female now.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you would.
For Rick Moranis' character, they need to go get some like really like super not comedy actress, you know?
Oh yeah. Let's go with like Meryl Streep.
Yeah, just like completely like out of nowhere role.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Oh yeah. See that? It'll probably just be Julianne Moore. Anyway. So,
Ghostbusters.
yeah.
I'll be happy to hear that theme again.
Yes, talk about just like it'll. The funny thing about making it all-female Ghostbusters is, it's. I think it's less likely that it'll just be like this slam dunk.
Yeah,
because the misogynistic side of our culture will like actively hate this movie.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of potential in it.
Definitely.
A lot of potential. Good job, Sony, for finally
you
doing
did
this.
Sony, we want you to know you are going to get a gold star this week.
I only had to hear about it all year before you finally got stuff together.
Hey,
they had a rough year. I'll give it.
They're trying, Kyle. We're gonna give them a gold star on the BrownCast board of good companies.
Yeah, the BrownCast board of stars. It is their only star, and I think Good Company is stretching it. So.
Well, I mean,
I love my PlayStation, so.
Yeah, there you go.
And every PC gamer just quit listening to BrownCast Ultra. All right, so final thoughts on Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Will they do another? Was it like a rap or something? Like some music video they did.
No, man, it's just the Ghostbusters song.
No. There was one though. Like
Ghostbusters rap
or something. I don't know. This is going on too long now.
I think you're thinking of Will Smith movies.
Will be a rapper again.
He really should have just kept along with the make a song for every movie. Could you imagine what the song would be for After Earth?
Oh, that'd be great.
Get G with it. All right, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. So we'll be keeping up with Ghostbusters 3 as it moves into production. But for now, we can just watch and wait. Watch and wait. So with that, we will go ahead and move on into our What We Did This Week segment.
This week in the world of broadcast. Or no, you gotta take it more like old style. This week in the world of broadcast. BrownCast invades the beaches of France today. So, this week in the world of BrownCast, for me, apart from working on a lot of our video shorts we are in production on right now, which those have all been really fun and they'll be coming out here
for too long.
Yeah.
Let's not make any promises yet.
Let's not make any promises. But that's been really fun working on those. As far as watching stuff, I did have a chance to check out some more of the Academy nominees, but particularly one I want to talk about, Box Trolls.
Okay.
That was actually...
No, you can't talk about Box Trolls.
Oh, damn it. Fun. It's a really fun movie. The story consists of there's a town, and there are trolls who wear boxes. And they do troll things like steal garbage, and are mostly neutral. And once upon a time, the Box Trolls take this kid, and they raise him to be one of them. And it all goes south because these exterminators are picking off the Box Trolls and capturing them all. So the kid decides, after his father figure, Box Troll, named Fish, which I thought was clever. All the Box Trolls are named after, the product that the box was holding.
Oh, nice.
So, like, the kid's name is Eggs, because he's got an egg box.
This is eggs on it.
Yep. So I thought that was fun.
It's cute.
And so his father figure, troll named Fish, gets captured, so he decides he's going to go up to, in the daylight, since he looks like a person, and he's going to figure out what's going on. And essentially, you find out the whole story. You know, the bad guys are trying to kidnap the box trolls to rise up in the social ranking. You know, and yada yada yada. Avoiding spoilers, it's a great movie. It's made by I'm probably gonna say this wrong, but Leica Studios, which did Paranorman, and I want to say they did Coraline as well. They do stop motion. For those who don't know, that's their animation style of choice. They do really good stop motion. It's honestly like really tight. Some of these people came off of stuff like the Burton stop motion stuff.
Yeah.
And you can really see how this kind of art form is really like come together. And I was watching actually some of the special features on it, and lots of cool stuff they can do with that now. Because like in the movie, the box troll's eyes all glow in the dark, and then the person was showing like how they engineered these stop motion figures to have light up eyes and still do like the facial stuff, you know. And that was impressive. I was like, that's really, really cool to like see how they do that kind of stuff. Which, if you are like got box trolls or renting it, watch the special features on that movie. There's lots of really cool stuff. Lots of funny stuff too from all the voice cast, especially like Ben Kingsley is a voice actor of this movie, and listening to him like talk about, because he does like one of the villain voices, and one of the villains does like drag at one point, and so he's like showing his process, and it's like, what is going on with this man? And it's really fun movie. But that was something else. Besides that, I did embark on your recommendation on the DC audiobook, Infinite Crisis.
Yeah,
that was a great listen. It's Graphic Audio's the one who does it. That was really, really good to listen. I liked it. I actually read a little bit of the comic while I was listening to it, and I like the structure of it. It really tells it in a very cohesive story. Honestly, a little bit better than the comics as far as like the story, like the chronology of it all.
Yeah,
and that was really good.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it myself. The DC audiobooks by Graphic Audio, I would say they're definitely worth it. I mean, obviously, reading the comic is definitely always better. These DC audiobooks are somewhat abridged.
Yeah,
they don't always include all the sub stories and things like that going on. But it's adapted really well into a very cohesive plot line.
Yeah.
And the voice acting's all really good. I really, really enjoyed all the voice acting work that's done on those audio books. Like I said, it's graphic audio. It's kind of like a movie in your mind.
That is their catchphrase, Connor. Yeah. You're going to get a suit again.
Graphic audio. I don't think these are in print anymore.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because they're high value. They're high quality.
You can get them on Amazon.
Yeah. They're really high quality. So it's kind of makes it's a little sad.
That's the only place I've ever seen them. So yeah, but I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm starting 1 year.
Infinite Crisis, in particular, is a pretty interesting story. I think one of the more interesting stories in the DC universe.
By far.
A lot of people don't agree because it is one of those. It was kind of. It's one of the more new age DC events that they have.
You know what? I will say this. As far as like the argument of which is the best crisis with DC, or the best event, sorry. I don't know why I'm confusing myself. But the best of, as far as I argue, like Final Crisis and Blackest Night are some of the best, and then Infinite Crisis takes kind of like a close second.
Yeah.
You know?
I like Infinite Crisis way better than Final Crisis.
Yeah.
This is hardcore comic jargon that
Hardcore comic
no
jargon.
one's understanding right now, so we better go back to speaking Japanese.
Apart from what I've already mentioned, I did read through. I finally got through the Marvel Civil War series.
Oh yeah, I talked about that a lot on a past podcast.
You did. So I'm going to pretty much say it's really good. I was very surprised at how that story ends up, and it makes me really interested in how they're going to in the movies go this kind of third age they're building with Captain America's Civil War.
Yeah, they we'll see how that turns out, but it's going to be nothing like the comics. Because
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to take some stuff from the comics, so I'm just interested to see how does that line up.
Yeah.
But enough about me. Kyle, what have you been doing this week?
All right, so I got caught up. A couple of my favorite comedy shows came back on this season, and I'm talking about Archer and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, both on FX. So I'll start off with Archer. So the Archer gang is back in the old office. They're back to being a spy agency. Really, almost the whole theme of the show is that the last season really was just kind of this experiment that they did, and I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did something different. People really didn't like it as much, but that's okay because they could always go back to what works. Besides kind of going back to the old formula, something new this season is I've noticed that they're kind of dialing back on the amount of inside jokes that in the show. Because a lot of the show is built around these jokes, these callback jokes to past episodes, Danger Zone and phrasing and all that. They're kind of dialing that back a little bit because I'd have to admit, it kind of got a little bit overboard, and they're kind of just normalizing it out, getting a little equilibrium there, and also trying to maybe establish some new callback jokes for future episodes. So it's not just the same ones over and over again.
Yeah, which will be really good to have some new reference stuff, because those inside jokes are really funny, but it would be good to have some events take place and get all new reference material.
So they're but it's pretty good still. So it's still a good show, everybody.
Still a good show.
Still
not to mention
it.
I watched you made me go on Twitter and look at the John Benjamin pictures for when the premiere was on.
Yeah, he did a little live tweet thing, and it turned out it's really funny.
They're still on his Twitter, so go
yeah, I could check that out.
Jump on John Benjamin's Twitter and look at them. They're hilarious.
Yeah. So, moving on, I watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is on season 10 now.
Oh my goodness.
Which is pretty insane. I'm going to come out and say I'm pretty sure this is the most consistent show on TV.
Really? That's a big claim.
Well, it's a show that doesn't have the dips in quality and that a lot of shows get over the course of 10 seasons, which is quite a few, and they have short seasons. So I think they do about half of what a lot of networks do, which a lot of networks is 24-hour-long episodes. I believe they do 12 half-hour-long episodes.
Yeah.
So it's a short season, but the show stays really consistent. All the episodes are really funny, and it's keeping suit. The 3 new episodes that have come out so far of It's Always Sunny season 10 have been really, really hilarious and up to par.
Yeah.
It starts. I think the first episode is they're on this airplane, and they're trying to. beat the drinking record of Wade Hogg on the airplane. So they're wearing these T-shirts, these white T-shirts, and every beer they finish, they like do a tally mark.
Yeah.
And stuff. So they end up. As you imagine, hilarity ensues. There's an episode where they try group dating.
That's so...
Oh yeah,
that just sounds funny.
Yeah, it gets pretty wild. And then third episode calls the return of their friend that they've always spoken of, but has never appeared in the show, as Psycho Pete. You remember from the reunion episode? It's kind of a callback to that episode where the Psycho Pete has come back.
Yep.
And it's probably not what you think. So, all right. So, TV is great. I watched more stuff, but if you want to listen to that, you'll have to check out my DC TV update. So, one more thing I watched this week is this week saw the release of the DC Animated Universe's newest movie, Throne of Atlantis.
Now, I have not seen that. I've not seen it yet. I wanted to watch it tonight. What do you think of it? I want to hear what you think about it, though, because I have not watched any reviews or anything, because I've just kind of been preoccupied, really.
Yeah. So, this is newest in the DCAU recently has been, ever since the Flashpoint movie, they've been they've rebooted the animated movies to coincide with the New 52 comics reboot. So this one, and they started, so you had Flashpoint, which kind of rebooted everything, and then I saw Justice League War, which was kind of like the Justice League coming together, the New 52 Justice League coming together. But they had replaced Aquaman with Shazam. And this movie kind of brings in Aquaman into the fold, Arthur Curry. And so basically he's a human, and he gets brought in to become the king of Atlantis, and he battles his brother Orm, Ocean Master, or Orm is Ocean Master, to those who don't know, and Orm's top lieutenant, who is Black Manta. So, he's doing all this with his protector and future wife, Mira. So, this is kind of, the action and animation are solid. Alright, as I could say, the movie, this is one of the more action-y movies for the DC animated universe. So what I would say is that I think casual viewers will find it very entertaining, because it's just pretty, just solid DC action. And we all love Black Manta and Ocean Master, so it's just kind of fun watching them fight, and Aquaman doing his thing, talking to the fishies.
Yeah.
So, and being heroic. But I will say that the more hardcore fans... Whoops. But the more hardcore fans might find...
Kyle, the mayor's calling you.
Yeah. Podcast over. But no, some of the more hardcore fans might find it a little bit tedious, because it is at its core an origin story, and if you watch and read a lot of comic stuff, then you see origin stories pretty much constantly, and this one is really no different. So,
yeah,
that's my take on Throne of Atlantis. I would if you like DC anime stuff, you might as well watch it.
Might as well.
So if you're on the fence, check it out for the action, but don't be expecting any kind of in-depth, complicated plot. It's pretty simple themes, pretty simple storyline. So.
Yeah, I gotta approach a lot of DC stuff kind of in that boat.
Well, some of them are more complicated than this, and that's what I think sets it apart. This one? I mean, War was the same way.
Yeah.
For that matter, it was just extremely basic. But then things like the Batman ones that they've been throwing out in tandem with these, Son of Batman and the Suicide Squad, or Assault on Arkham, were a little bit more complicated than these ones are. So,
But that being said, they're worth supporting. Like, for those comic book fans who are like, I don't want to see any awards and stuff. These are worth supporting. You should, show out, watch them, rent them, whatever you do.
That is a really good point. It is worth supporting. Hey, and the next one is actually like a sequel to Son of Batman, which is Batman versus Robin. So
yeah, but it's really good stuff. It's really good stuff. It's worth supporting because we're gonna get better and better movies as this goes on. But you have to start somewhere.
We hope that we'll get better.
Yeah, we hope.
But Warner Brothers doesn't really screw up this DC animated stuff.
They know better.
So they've been doing it a while. It's still the same people. So. All right, so that's it for me. I guess that will conclude our What We Did This Week section. Now we will be moving on to our fun facts from BrownCast.
And we are back. Time for some BrownCast fun facts.
Yep, fun facts throughout movie history. So we got a couple movies. We each took a movie and went and looked up some fun facts to share with you, the listeners.
Yep.
So I think you'll some stuff that we didn't even know.
Yeah.
So focused on things that I didn't already know.
Yeah.
Myself.
So for me, this time around, I chose Gladiator, and these are the fun facts. The main one is Gladiator is Russell Crowe's favorite American movie, and that character is actually his favorite role he's ever been in. Which I thought that was interesting. I was like, "That's the one. That's your favorite." I mean, it's a cool movie, and that's definitely my favorite of his movies. But I would have thought he would have been way more into one of his more serious roles.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Which actor was this?
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
His favorite was
He likes fighting around the world, man.
He loves fighting around the world.
Well, no, that is pretty. I mean, what roles of Russell Crowe's do you think would you think would be more fun than Gladiator?
I don't know, just some of his more serious ones.
Also, he won the Oscar for...
True, he did win the Oscar. Although, when you think about it, I guess it shows, because, I mean, if that was his favorite character, then obviously that would have been probably one of his best performances.
Yeah, it's it's the most Russell Crowe of any, character he's ever played, I would say, for sure. Besides maybe L.A. Confidential.
Yep. In the same vein as that one, as my next fact is, originally the role of Maximus was going to be offered to Mel Gibson.
I can see that.
But Mel Gibson refused because he pretty much, I believe he was 43, 44 at the time, and he said he was too old to play that character. And I was just like, oh, man, what could have been if we had Mel Gibson do it?
Oh, nothing good, Alex. Nothing was lost that day.
Nothing was lost.
No, but it's a good point. These actors, especially a guy like Mel Gibson, who was pretty old at the time.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't really be doing at this kind of heavy action anymore, and all the training you have to do, and all the practices, and for all the choreography and things like that.
Yeah. So, and
plus he has no control over it. This is really, I don't think Mel Gibson has ever worked with Ridley Scott. So.
Yeah. So my next one is in the scenes where supposedly Russell Crowe's hand is going over the wheat, when he has those weird flashbacks. It's actually not Russell Crowe. That's his double, by the name of Stuart Clark, that they had do all those scenes.
Well, yeah, that's kind of weird.
It is weird. Only because in my head I'm thinking about also that means they would have make-upped his hand to film that stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't make up everything, so it would have gone up to maybe halfway up the arm.
Yeah. It
sounds
sounds like that was a reshoot.
That to me too sounds like
there was a reshoot, and it's like, well, we're not
reshoot.
going to get Russell Crowe to come out just to have him wave his hand over some weeds. It's like, we'll just have any dude do that.
Hey,
So didn't we pay somebody to pretend to be Russell Crowe?
we did.
So
So my next one is, in the movie Walking Phoenix, one of his big lines is his character of I believe Commodus, right?
Yes, it is
Commodus.
Commodus.
Thank you. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. The "Am I Not Merciful" line where he yells it.
Mm-hmm.
That was ad-libbed on the spot, and the actress, when she like flinches, that was actually her first reaction to it, because he just completely
crazy Joaquin Phoenix
yeah,
yelling in her face.
Because he's just like all quiet through most of that movie, and then he just exploded, and everyone was like, "Whoa, what the?"
I think that was at the point back when people were legitimately wondering if Joaquin Phoenix was crazy.
Yeah.
So and then he kind of went through the whole "I'm not there" phase.
And then
And then we found out that was all just elaborate role he was playing. So I guess he is crazy.
he's kind of crazy.
when I kind of say all that stuff out loud,
Yeah.
it makes me realize that Joaquin Phoenix is kind of crazy.
He's
But it's
kinda-
good. He's crazy in a good way.
Yeah, he makes.
I got halfway through Inherent Vice. I have to finish the other half, but gotta appreciate Joaquin Phoenix, and feel sad that he's not going to be Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he's crazy and makes good movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a method actor.
Yeah. So next one. Going on, these next couple ones are all about that German battlefield. First couple sequence of the movie, So the first one is that the Royal Forestry Commission was actually going to destroy that wood, and that's why they were allowed to set it on fire and go crazy, And then Ridley Scott helped them get rid of the rest of it.
Yeah, they. That's pretty clever. I wonder how you find out things like that.
That is.
Somebody just walked by Ridley Scott's office and was like, "Hey, so we're just we're gonna cut down all this forest. Do you want to film something here? Or
You want to set
do you
fires
have
like a
some kind
lunatic?
of epic battle scene planned or something?" I mean, Ridley Scott always has an epic battle scene planned at one point or another.
At all points in the day,
Yeah.
Ridley Scott has some epic battle scene ready to go.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah. We have this movie, and these guys with swords, and shoots this fireballs with this catapult." He's like,
Ridley Scott just has 50 guys always wearing barbarian gear on call.
yeah.
They all have pagers working at the Home Depot.
Oh yeah.
Beep beep beep. Oh, I gotta go. Ridley's got a battle scene.
They all get on a plane and parachute out of the plane onto the set. They're like, "We're here." He's like, "Holy crap! You're 30 minutes late. Let's get going."
Oh. So the next one from that same actually on that Russell Crowe, the cuts on his face during that battle actually did happen because his horse kind of backed him into a tree and he got all messed up. So in the scene where he's talking to Commodus telling him he's gonna go home, you can actually see the stitches all on his face, on one side of his face.
Well, I never really noticed those, but
Yeah. Another one on that is that the actual whole battle took 20 days to film, which is both crazy and impressive. Because for how a lot of people, I remember
maybe a 10-minute.
Yeah,
scene.
it's a 10-minute scene, but there's a lot going on. I do remember that. There's a lot going on in that scene. People should rewatch that and realize that there's a lot there.
Yeah, Best Picture winner.
Oh yeah,
This is what you used to win Best Picture for.
True.
Back in the days, really complicated filmmaking.
yeah.
For sure, not just we went to this kid's house every week for 12 years and
Filmed his life.
filmed his life. I don't know. I find epic battle scenes more complicated and difficult.
They are though. They are though. I'm sorry.
Like.
They are though. getting 100 people to all show up and then sit for hours and hours every day, you know? Because I remember seeing some documentary stuff on the making of that movie, and those warriors in that scene are troopers, because they, like, straight up were there all day, every day, just sitting in the mud for hours.
Maybe it was, like, they really didn't have to wait all day. Like, they had things ready to go all the time, but it was, like, Kubrickian, like... Because, like, if they sit in the mud for hours and hours, they'll feel like real soldiers.
No, it turned out because of the shooting schedule, a lot of these guys just, like, would sleep in cots. Like, because the encampment, the Roman encampment, they built that, like, a couple miles from the battle. And so all the cast would just kind of go up there and sleep.
Nice.
And so they just ended up not showering for a lot of that. That's real grime.
Yeah, that's, I think that, it was all on purpose.
Yes. So for my last fact, this one is actually, it's a more known one, but I thought it was fun. Originally there was a scene planned where, Maximus was going to fight a rhinoceros in the Colosseum, but was scrapped because the rhinoceros looked dumb.
Yeah. Well, I guess I kind of see where they got that, because that's something that was the Colosseum was definitely known for, was they would put animals in it to fight against people, or animal against animal, and like all kinds of crazy stuff.
But that was the big thing, was they couldn't get the rhinoceros to work right.
Yeah, it's one of those things that fails in post-production.
Yeah,
Just when they can't render the effects good enough, or it just doesn't fit the tone of the movie.
But if you I actually have the soundtrack for Gladiator, and if you bought the soundtrack, you have the music that was going to go with that fight.
the rhinoceros music.
Yeah, which I like it because it's called The Rhino Fight. That's like the title, you know?
And you were like, what?
You're like, what? A rhino fight? There's no rhino fight in this movie.
You're rewatching Gladiator. It's like, did I miss this rhino fight?
Have I been sleeping through the rhino fight?
All right. Yeah, man. The rhino won Best Supporting Actor. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm done with my fun facts. Time for you to take over.
So I looked into a little bit of some Raiders of the Lost Ark. You might have heard of it. So my first one, it's kind of well known and kind of not well known that Harrison Ford was definitely not the first choice to play Indy. The first choice was Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
Good old Burt Reynolds, who was definitely in his heyday back then.
Yeah.
But he couldn't do it due to scheduling conflicts, and that's kind of the story with a lot of these guys I'm about to list. But after that, they wanted Nick Nolte, Steve Martin, who had scheduling conflicts. Bill Murray, who had scheduling conflicts with SNL. Chevy Chase, Tim Matheson.
Were they just like really like high when they came up with that list?
Well, I guess they were going towards a kind of like funny character, because he is kind of a funny character.
I guess.
So I said Nick Mancuso, Peter Coyote, Jack Nicholson, and Harrison, and then they landed on Harrison Ford because he had worked on Star Wars with Lucas.
That's a weird list. I'm sorry. Like, that's a Jack Nicholson. Like,
you see,
don't you get it? The sand has to weigh as much as the idol.
Yeah.
It really blows my mind, because I'm just like, I'd never known the list was that extensive. I'd known the Burt Reynolds, but never once had I heard that Bill Murray or Chevy Chase had been considered for the role.
Yeah, all these guys were just kind of getting their start, and they were all really young, and you kind of see what they were what they kind of intended when the first intention was when they were in pre-production for Raiders, and they're trying to cast the main character. It's like this kind of, they're going for maybe a little bit more funny. Whereas Harrison Ford kind of has this heavy action star feel, but with that little bit of charm and charisma that we all like, but not so much like a James Bond, and not so funny like any Bill Murray character. So
if Bill Murray was Indiana Jones, that movie, there wouldn't have been 2 sequels.
Well, it kind of makes you think, because now they're talking about, because now Disney owns Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And talking about rebooting Indiana Jones with Chris Pratt as Indy. So, kind of, once again, he's more of a Bill Murray than a Harrison Ford. So.
Yeah.
But people think different things about Indy. It's the interpretation of the character. So. All right, so while filming in Tunisia, the entire cast and crew got sick, except for Steven Spielberg.
As soon as you said while filming in Tunisia, the entire cast and crew was like, it's always sick.
Yeah, everybody got sick except for Steven Spielberg. And you know why Steven Spielberg was the director was the only one who didn't get sick?
Why? It's
because he brought all of his own food, which consisted of many cans of SpaghettiOs. So Steven Spielberg survived on SpaghettiOs in Tunisia, and he ended up being the only one that didn't get sick.
That's great.
So it was funny, which I didn't know they had filmed this in Tunisia, which makes sense. That's where, once again, it's where Star Wars stuff was filmed. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Okay. Oh, here's the story of how this kind of Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of came to be. So I didn't know this, but George Lucas has a tradition for when of his movies, and that is when his movies are released. Around that time, he goes on vacation so that he can get away from all of the buzz and the Hollywood kind of paparazzi and all the buzz and all that.
Yeah.
So, and then just kind of reads the review for the movie from wherever he is. So, for whenever the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, came out, he went to Hawaii, and Steven Spielberg went with him.
Mm-hmm.
So out on Hawaii, Steven Spielberg confesses to Lucas how he had always wanted to make a James Bond movie. And Lucas takes that and says, well, instead of doing that, why don't you make this movie that I wrote, which is about, Indiana Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a throwback to old adventure serials from the 40s and 50s. So, that's kind of how that all came to be.
That's really cool.
This kind of it's interesting how these movies are kind of intertwined. A lot of what made Indiana Jones, the fact that Lucas was just coming off of Star Wars, and Spielberg was just kind of still just rising to success.
Yeah,
not really getting anywhere quite yet. He had done Jaws by that point. And he actually, in between filming Raiders of the Lost Ark, he wrote E.T.
That's really cool.
While filming Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's really cool.
All right, so here's a kind of off-the-wall one, but Michael Bay worked on Raiders of the Lost Ark in the storyboard department.
That is real. I
think
it
inspired him to become a director.
That's really. I honestly think that's really cool.
I didn't know he had been in the game that long, but that makes perfect sense.
It does.
That Michael Bay's been kind of in it for long enough to where he's been a player for a while.
It would also, what? I know it's a little bit stretching, but I could also argue this also kind of contributes a lot to his style, and he's a very visual type of person, which would definitely speak to someone who has an artistic background.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he was necessarily a storyboard artist.
Yeah, but I mean, just being in that environment,
yeah.
Having to think that way and having to work with people.
Yeah,
that way
exactly. Because the storyboard is where you're thinking like this is what's going to be like displayed. It's like it's going to be this and then this and then this. It's like this is what's going to be showing while they're saying this stuff.
Yeah, and they're always very scenic stuff. Storyboards always have very like scenic stuff, you know. So it really is cool to learn that he had to start like that.
Yeah, I find it very interesting, and that's kind of what inspired him. But then I think it would inspire me. So,
shoot, if Steven Spielberg like, you know, just patted me on the shoulder, that would inspire me more.
Yeah. So, last bit of trivia, and I don't think you even necessarily know who this is, but it's for the comic fans out there. For the concept art of Raiders of the Lost Ark, Lucas didn't use Ralph McQuarrie, who did the concept art for Star Wars movies, and instead enlisted the help of a Marvel Comics artist, Jim Steranko, who was really famous for doing Nick Fury back in the 70s, and really kind of did a lot to revolutionize comic art in his time. He's still alive today.
That's awesome.
So that's something I definitely had no idea. That was pretty interesting. It makes a lot of sense. So.
Something I did want to say, since you were talking about Spielberg. Mm-hmm. This is on another movie, Jurassic Park, but I wanted to say it because it's funny, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so on Jurassic Park, Spielberg, whenever there were scenes the T-Rex was supposed to be in, Spielberg would have a megaphone and he would make T-Rex noises. Like, and I think it's funny just because you mentioned him eating SpaghettiOs, and like more and more you learn like Spielberg's is kind of like nerdy guy.
Oh well, no, he's a very. I think of it. He's very whimsical.
Yeah, he's very.
He's very whimsical, and that's why his films are so whimsical. So.
But that's a funny thought.
Oh yeah, it is. It's great.
To me now, Steven Spielberg, it's like making dinosaur noises and then eating SpaghettiOs in your trailer.
Yeah, in the rain.
In the rain.
In the fake rain or whatever. Yeah, Jurassic Park.
Oh man.
All right, so that'll do it for some BrownCast fun facts this week.
Yeah,
I like this segment.
I like
for
this
sure.
segment
I hope you, the listener, has as much fun with that as we did.
That's water cooler facts right there.
Yeah,
those are some water cooler facts.
Exactly. Get laid on trivia night and stuff. So, as always. Be sure to leave a good comment, like this page, and then go and subscribe to BrownCast Ultra YouTube channel. We always love all of your comments, and we love all of you subscribers equally. If you have any questions, comments, or critique that you don't want the whole world to see, then you can always send us an email at browncastultra@gmail.com. I read those as often as I can, and I'll get back to you, for sure. We do love hearing from the listeners on a real note.
Tell Kyle how bad he is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all the emails I want to see.
Like, all the rest will get deleted. So, and that'll do it for BrownCast Ultra. You have any final thoughts, Alec?
No.
My final thoughts are never give up, never surrender. Thunder Gun.